My blue screen sailor, you're the grand one. Come and call me, 'cause this wooing is one.
You know, you look back on parts of being a teenager, and a lot of it is very embarrassing, the sort of clothes that you started wearing and all of that. And obviously, this is not an exception at all. I mean, look at us all. But I mean, what it represented to me is not sad at all. And you know, it was a very important part of my life and something that I dearly love.
I could remember quite a bit, but the sort of stuff I could remember was the stuff that myself, my contemporaries were wearing. So we kind of used that for like the glitter kids, the young fans, the sort of like 13 to 16-year-olds.
The greatest challenge was really just making it be believable, even though you're dealing with something that's quite sort of extraordinary. You had to make sure it felt real. So that's when, for instance, dealing with the audience and the fans and the kids, trying to make it look like they've done it themselves.
As you say, yes, it's all to do with shadows and illusions, and what's behind the illusion, and is there anything behind the illusion at all?
Hail to the monkey, we're having a funky reunion.
As a time where anything went, that's an incredibly powerful and positive thing. And now it's not the case anymore, you know. We really have jumped backwards, I think. Still, we shouldn't all wear flares and flowery shirts because we do look ridiculous, so I'm glad we got out of that.
Everybody, I'd like to introduce you to our lovely new wardrobe mistress.
What's her name? Didn't you plane?
Shannon.
Shannon.
Well, the esthete gives characteristically cynical evidence, replete with pointed epigram and startling paradox, while explaining his views on morality in art.
I'm always very interested in topics in my films that call notions of identity into question and call sort of natural ideas about you know, humankind, you know, that there's sort of a prescribed organic way of living in our culture, and so this was a sort of celebration of very much the Oscar Wilde tradition played out in pop culture, you know.
Is it your belief that all dandies are homosexual?
Ha! Nothing makes one so vain as being told one is a sinner.
Velvet Goldmine, the title of the film, comes from a B-side that David Bowie wrote, a song from the '72. I don't know if it was ever officially released in the States or not. It's a wonderful song.
This is a rock and roll movie, you know, it's a movie about music stars and rock and roll stars and parties and the whole band thing.
So many different things, you know, it's a really multi-layered film. And a lot of people, when they read the script, they just didn't get it, you know, they were just, what's that about? When I first read it, I loved it, thought it was brilliant, but I sort of likened it to a pop song that you really love. You can't quite explain what it's about, you know, and the more you listen to it, you hear new lyrics, you know, maybe you can't quite hear what the singer's saying, but you like the sound of his voice. And you learn new things about it the more that you go back and, you know, delve into it.
Is it here then? Let's have a look. I do know that. Oh, kid's one of them pansy rockers. Fucking hell. It's fucking puff, that one there.
It's not.
That's naff. That's naff. Disgusting. You know that?
What is the script? You know, it's an incredible piece of writing. It's completely brilliant. It's so fragmented and so representative of the kind of image we have of the 70s, because it's all over the place. It's mad and it's exciting and beyond, you know, it's beyond comprehension really. Some of it, people talk about scenes, you go, where's that? And then you go back and you read the script and there's a whole scene that you just never went in your mind, you know.
My career was on the skids, mate, and you fished me out of the muck.
You got me back on my feet, you did. It was nothing, chum. I wanted to help you make more of that far-out sound. I love your music, my son. And I love... You don't have to say it, mate.
I read this script and I thought I'm completely wrong for it. I'm so wrong, but I fucking love it. And I faxed Todd and I just had to do it, you know? I'm so in love with it and I can't wait to see it. I think it's brilliant.
When you're trying to be truthful and speak from the heart, but you're you know, you're an institution unto yourself and you're making huge amounts of money and there's corporations financing you. The contradictions of that direct statement from the heart, by the time it gets into the hands of the kids out there, whatever, is so contradicted, I think, at so many levels, that when you set out to sort of tell the truth, I think you always fail.
The whole film's loaded with contradictions about itself, as was the era. You know, just I contradict myself 10, 15 times a day. I think one thing and mean the other. And it's... I don't know. I think it's confusing. I think everything is confusing. I think the CPK is confusing. I think going back and thinking about it now is even more confusing than before I started it. Because I'm trying to think, is this part of my past? Or is it part of somebody else's? Was that really me doing that? Because I don't know what's going to come up on that screen at all. And it's going to frighten the shit out of me. Because I don't know, was it me or was it what things affected me at that time?
I knew I should create a sensation, Gus the Rocket. And he went out.